Hello everybody and welcome back to the F1 My Team Career Mode with me, Dan, and of course the Radiant Racing team for the Brazilian Grand Prix. And for those of you that follow along and know exactly what's going to happen in this series, it is of course around 15 of 16. It's the penultimate race of the season. A championship cannot be won here based on the points difference between myself and Valtteri Bottas at the moment. And, well, with Lewis Hamilton not too far behind either, it's going to be a close one going into the final race next episode. Anyway, to see that and not to miss any more after that, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you know when they've been uploaded. There's going to be a weird-looking schedule for the next few days, but oh well. Anyway, on to the starting grid, and it is, of course, the 2021 rivals of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton leading away the charge, followed by Valtteri Bottas and, of course, ourselves, the championship contenders. We're followed by Lando Norris. He's alongside the first Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. And behind him, Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly have moved up grid slot for the first time in a little while, starting P7 and 8, followed by our teammate Zhou Guanyu and Carlos Sainz in the other Ferrari. Then we have Yuki Tsunoda in the other AlphaTauri, followed by Sergio Perez, who picks up a grid penalty. Then the two Aston Martins of Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll. Behind them we have Daniel Ricciardo also taking penalties alongside George Russell in the Williams. Then behind them we have once again the two Alfa Romeos of Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher. On the penultimate row it's Nicholas Latifi alongside Christian Lundgaard, and finally on the back row it is Nikita Mazepin and Esteban Ocon. Well, here we go, penultimate race of the season. Hopefully I'll still be able to talk by the end of it because I don't know what is going on with my voice today. But we're away, and we get a fantastic start compared to Lewis Hamilton up there. We're going to move up into the top three now as we go side by side with Lewis Hamilton into turn one, and around the outside into turn two. We're still holding our own against the Mercedes. Completely mess up turn three. As behind us, actually, Lando Norris and Valtteri Bottas now begin to challenge after our poor exit there as we go round into turn four. And it's Lando Norris ahead of us, moved up onto the podium position, pushes ourselves and Valtteri Bottas down to fourth and fifth, allowing, of course, Max Verstappen to pull an entire second over Lewis Hamilton, and for Lando Norris to hold us up in the battle to get higher up the podium. Oh my god, I can't even talk today. Come around the end of the lap now. I'm not seeing anyone else who's significantly out of position. Sergio Perez was able to pull up a few more positions. He's out into the top 10. But now the battle is on with Lewis and Lando, since Max Verstappen is already too far ahead. Let's watch the start. Absolutely destroyed Bottas there, and then Lewis Hamilton did try to cover us off. We keep it together up the inside, and then on the exit of turn two there, just get too much over the curb, some oversteer from the lack of grip, allows Hamilton just to power ahead of us, and then we come under attack from Norris on the left-hand side, and it gets a little crowded there. We just have to give him the room and give up the position, which was not ideal, but when you're in this championship position, you just want to keep it as close as possible and as tidy as possible. Well, this was Norris's start. Again, completely outperformed Bottas there going into turn one off at the start. Goes around the outside, does what we intended to do against Hamilton, and then gets a great run on us now as we come down towards turn 3/4. And he's already made the move before we've even got to the inside curb. So we're rejoining the action now around lap 3, coming on to lap 4. We've got a yellow flag up ahead for something. Someone's out of the race. It is our teammate, Zhou Guanyu, again failing to score points and actually failing to finish, which is going to cost us significantly in the Constructors' Championship. And now we've got Valtteri Bottas looking around the outside of the turn 1 with DRS, as do we have DRS as well. And we're going to go side by side, and hopefully this time, yeah, we don't get the issue with traction off of the curb. So we're actually able to defend it. Unfortunately, we lose DRS to Lando Norris, and now we come under attack from Charles Leclerc as well. as we try and get round as quickly as possible and try and catch up to the back of the McLaren, just to ensure that we don't lose out with DRS on the next time round, because that will definitely cost us 1, maybe even 2 positions, even if only temporary. But we're on the end of lap 6. We're still stuck behind the McLaren. It's not going quite the way we'd like it to. Norris is holding us up now. We're 3 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton now, which means that the best chance that we've got here of getting any points is going to be 15 points for that 3rd place, and maybe 60 if we can pick up a fastest lap. But finally, we get a chance to challenge Norris. DRS open. He is incredibly fast in a straight line. There's Hamilton disappearing around the corner. And we take the inside line now, push him wide, and we finally moved back into P3, which is going to give us a significant 5-point boost against our rival Valtteri Bottas. Remember, of course, we are leading the championship. We just need to score as many points as possible, more than him, to give us the best chance in the finale in Saudi Arabia in the next video. This was our move on Norris. He does swing across there a little bit suspiciously, but we hold our position and take the tighter inside line into turn 3/4, whatever the corner is, and move up into P3. As I expect we'll be coming into the pits anytime soon, because we've got our soft tyres on at the moment. Pretty much everyone around us also on the soft tyre, so we're not going to need to worry too much about defending with someone behind us. But here we go. Actually, no pit stops, but Norris with a massive amount of overspeed comes up behind us now as we go down into turn 1. We do manage to defend it, but of course we know from earlier on, even at the start of the race, you don't need DRS to try and get past it. And now we're going to have to go very defensive, because Bottas is having a look as well. And although Bottas didn't come through, we have just allowed Norris back into P3, which is very unfortunate. And you can see that this train goes all the way back up to Carlos Sainz in 10th right now. So this little pack breaking away from the rest of the field, which is currently being somewhat led by Yuki Tsunoda in a little threesome with Vettel and Ricciardo, and then it's back quite a long way as the rest of the order is spread out throughout the field. But now we come back to the other DRS zone, well, the first DRS zone, if you like, on the circuit. And it comes open, but the problem is we're not going to be able to see the right angle, whether or not we're catching. Well, we can see Bottas definitely isn't. We have moved to the inside. I see some sparks. We're already a 10th behind Norris, so we must be alongside him right now as we go through. Yes, we did. We have got the move on Norris. And did we pick up the DRS? Yes, of course we did. But Norris is going to come back at us now in the slipstream. We've also got Charles Leclerc and in there and Valtteri Bottas. This could be good. We want Leclerc to get past the Mercedes. He has done, which is very significant for us in our championship battle. But of course, we're only halfway through this race, and things could change at any minute. As we come around into the Sector 2 section, we'll rejoin at the end of lap 9. I expect now we're going to start seeing some pit stops, because we're halfway through the race. At the very least, we're not stopping. Norris has come in. We have just taken the lead. So we are, well, still net P3, I guess. But Bottas stays out as well. He is still within a second, unfortunately, which means he's going to get the DRS again. We're just going to have to deal with that. And, well, it's promoted a lot of this little interesting pack up into the top 10. Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton rejoin in 10th and 11th, just behind George Russell. So we'll probably gain some ground on them, but I don't think we're going to be able to get quite up to the back of them and challenge for this win. It's going to have to be a case of settle for third and try and keep Bottas and Norris behind us. Norris, not so much of an issue if we lose to him, but we do want more points in our battle with Bottas going into the final race of the season.
Box.
And now he's going to get the DRS on us, but unfortunately for him, we're going to be coming into the pits, so it's not going to be long lasting. In fact, he follows us in as well, Perez comes in as well. For some reason, Carlos Sainz has stayed out. That's probably going to cost him all of his points today. The AI once again demonstrating their superior strategies. But the important question is, where is Lando Norris? Because Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton have gone through. There's Mick Schumacher. Lando Norris not too far away now as we come out of the pit lane. He's somewhere behind the leaderboard. There he is, actually going past us now. Crucially, if we do get past him, Bottas will still have him in his way. And it's just not possible on the colder tyres and coming out of that pit lane at 2 miles an hour to try and get past the McLaren. So it looks like we're going to have to settle for 7th at the moment. What is net P4 once everyone else has come into the pit lane. But we're holding our own now. We're quite close to the back of the McLaren, even through this very difficult, twisty section, which you'd have thought would cost us some time. But at the moment, we're doing okay. Coming around the final corner. DRS will be opened. And we'll see what we can do here. As the rest of the field seems to have come into the pit lane already. That means this is now the battle for third place. Bottas also up with us, challenging for the lead. And through the first corner we go. Only 2/3 of the way through the race at the moment, so nothing too drastic so far is needed. I mean, we could put Norris out of the race, but then that would mean that that Bottas is gonna stick with us in the championship and throughout the rest of this race. We've got the buffer state of Lando Norris in the way. Unfortunately, all this battling is costing us, as we'll see in a moment. This was that overtake on Norris. He goes very defensive and then changes his mind, then swipes at us for apparently no reason. And just can't make his line work around the outside. But we'll rejoin, and yes, as you can see, we are 8.5 seconds off the back of Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. We were not that far off in qualifying. Unfortunately, in the race, when you have to battle with all of these guys, it's very difficult. Also, tyre wear on this car, I think, has one upgrade on it. So every time we get to the end of our stint, we've got no grip. Probably won't help with the times. Something that we are going to fix in Season 3. Regulation changes actually coming up for Season 3. We've got reliability and chassis regulation changes, which should help put a cat amongst the pigeons there. We're going on board with Valtteri Bottas just to watch what was going on there as we battled with Norris through turns 1 and 2. And of course 3. It was very crowded going down towards the hairpin there. Bottas is going to look to the right, and he actually gets cut up by Lando Norris in a disgusting move from the McLaren driver. Very lucky actually that Bottas didn't take some damage there, and Sergio Perez managed to get up into P6. Remember, he started P12, so he's had a very great race. And we've got just 2 laps to go now as we look back once again at the McLaren of Lando Norris advancing. You can see the speed he's got compared to us with that DRS. And it's quite scary to see that coming. We're now just under, and I expect we will be, yes, now 10 seconds behind the leaders. Just going to show how much Red Bull and Mercedes have invested into their car and drivers in this 2022 season. And, 2023, it could be a different story. We don't know who's going to be the winners and losers of the regulation changes. Reliability shouldn't change anything too badly. And the upgrades for that are probably quite necessary for this team as well, considering that we always get to the end of the season and need to replace all the parts of the car. Even going to the stage of wearing out an entire set of parts and then using them for practice only, which is probably the more efficient way of doing things. But anyway, we come around now onto the final lap of Brazil. penultimate race of the season. As things stand right now, we will maintain our lead of the championship as we've got Lando Norris going around the outside of us into turn 1 for one last attempt to try and get past us. We have thwarted the McLaren's attempt into turn 1, but he is going to get another shot. But also Bottas and Perez are going to try and shoot their shot as well, as Bottas comes alongside us as well. As we go round the hairpin, we're going to go side by side with our championship rival Valtteri Bottas going up the hill. Sergio Perez also waiting for one of us to crash into the other and slip his way up the order. Bottas is still holding his own around the outside, and he has managed to slip ahead of us there somehow, as Sergio Perez now, unbelievably, in the last few corners of the circuit, of the race, we're now being overtaken by absolutely everyone. We've got Sergio Perez still challenging us. He has now backed out of it, but we've just lost 2 positions, and that is going to cost us quite significantly there as we go into the final race. This is the final corner now. Up the hill we go towards the finish line, and it's a dreaded picture. What are we going to see when we have a look at the Drivers' Championship in a minute? It's going to be incredibly close going into the final race. As we cross the line, Sergio Perez goes past us for literally no reason at all, and we figure out who driver of the day is. I guess it is, of course, Esteban Ocon, who did start at the back. Shouldn't come as too much of a surprise that he was able to come through in the end. But it's a Red Bull win again, Max Verstappen. That's 4 in a row for him now. Good job to Verstappen. And there's Lewis Hamilton as well, who has just as easily upped his game into the final stages of the championship as he did in season 1, and then went on to win it. But yeah, Lando Norris picking up the final spot on the podium. This does mean that going into the final race, we're going to have one of the closest matches I think I've ever seen in my life, other than when Verstappen and Hamilton did go toe to toe on equal points going into the final race of the 2021 season. Last season, of course, in our universe, it was Red Bull versus Mercedes for the constructors. This time, it's us versus Bottas. Let's go check out those results. So we know our podium already. It was, of course, Max Verstappen, followed by Hamilton with the fastest lap, and then Lando Norris stinging away the final step from us at the last minute. Then we had Valtteri Bottas, ourselves, Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso, and Pierre Gasly, point scorers for the penultimate race of the season. So moving on to the Drivers' Championship, in an epic conclusion to the Season 2 My Team career, we will go into the final race in Jeddah on equal points with our championship rival Valtteri Bottas. Behind us we have Max Verstappen, just 14 points behind, followed by Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez, Lando Norris, Daniel Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, and finally Carlos Sainz rounding out the top 10. Further down the order we have Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel, Esteban Ocon, Joe Guan Yu and Yuki Tsunoda, Lance Stroll, and then George Russell, Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Christian Lundgaard, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Nikita Mazepin. And over in the Constructors' Championship, it might still be all over here as well, but Mercedes are 34 points clear of rivals Red Bull. Then it's a big jump back to McLaren in 3rd and Radiant Racing in 4th. Then we have Ferrari, AlphaTauri, Alpine, Aston Martin, Williams, Alfa Romeo and Haas. That's all. We'll catch you for the season finale.